wonder if there's anybody out in the world that looks just like you? Do you ever wonder what would happen if you ever met face to face? So, well, just hear me out. Pretty good looking dude. What is going on, everybody? It's Anthony, and in this week's episode, Doppelgangers! Now, for those of you who don't know what a doppelganger is, for the sake of ease, let's just call it somebody that's a look-alike, that looks exactly like you, but is not related to you. And just before we start, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you. Now, speaking of doppelgangers, Neil Thomas Douglas boarded a plane on Thursday night, only to find somebody already sitting in his seat, which is a pretty common occurrence in air travel and a royal pain in the ass. Which always manages to put me in a great mood because you always have to show them your ticket and wait for them to get up while the whole plane of passengers is huffing and puffing behind you, waiting to get through the aisle, and the people sitting in your spot already put the stuff in the overhead, and you gotta find someplace else on the plane to put your luggage, which is always 25 rows away on the other side of the plane. I need a minute. And we're back. Now, the unique thing about this story is when Mr. Douglas went to go address the gentleman sitting in his spot, he looked eerily similar to him. Douglas stated that when the man sitting in his seat looked up at him, Douglas thought to himself, he looks like me. There's been a glitch in the Matrix! Now, Douglas and his doppelganger had a good laugh about the whole instance, took a picture together, which was then posted on Twitter, which went viral after it was retweeted thousands of times. For then which Twitter dubbed the two #beard twins. I'm sure 7 other guys on that plane looked exactly like that too. Now, you would think the string of coincidences ended there, but it didn't. The two men unknowingly ended up staying at the same hotel. And then when Douglas went to the pub later on that night for a beer, guess who was there? His beard brother. In which the two shared a beer together and later each other's wives. Okay, I made that last part up, but I'm sure after a couple beers, somebody suggested it. Now, if you think about it, it must be pretty crazy to be standing face to face with somebody you think looks exactly like you. So I'll always hear from people like, oh, you look like so-and-so, or you remind me of this guy, and then I'll never agree with them. I'm like, nah, that dude's ugly as hell. What are you talking about? And then I go home and spit at my reflection in the mirror and take a tub of ice cream to the head. I hate your ugly face! But for me to actually realize that this dude looking back at me looks exactly like me, I might react slightly differently. You know what would really suck? If you saw your doppelganger and went out of your way to say how ugly you thought that dude was, and then everybody in your family and the entire internet all agreed that you guys look exactly alike. I mean, I don't really think these dudes look that much alike. I mean, other than the fact that they both have reddish blonde hair and matching beards and rosy cheeks and plump faces, and other than that, day and night. Anyway, that's all for today. I'm getting kind of hungry. I'll see you next week. Yo, want to go get Korean barbecue? Actually, I'm vegan. I can't stand this dude already. What?